What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Monday Mom Day. I hope you all had a fabulous weekend and I hope you have a great week ahead. I'm going to tell on myself. I got really busy this week and waited to the last minute, and right now it is Sunday night and it's late and I'm exhausted and a little delirious because I'm so tired. But anyway, I do have a topic that I wanted to talk about. So in September, Incredible went for his 1-year appointment, and I think most people know with infants, they're watched pretty closely for developmental, milestones and things like that to make sure that everything is on track, which he has been, and all that's been great. But you hit the 1-year mark and it's a little bit different. And there are some things that I feel aren't necessarily developmental, I guess in my opinion anyway. It's more like an expectation. For example, the pediatrician is like, he's 1, no more bottle. Cut him off. You shouldn't be rocking him to sleep anymore. He shouldn't be falling asleep in your arms. You should be laying him down when he's tired and letting him go to sleep by himself. He should be walking, he should be eating with utensils, he should be sitting down at the table and eating what we're eating, type of deal. A lot of those things, he's just not there yet. And I get it. We want to work towards those things, but right now we're dealing with like sleep regression, so he's definitely not falling asleep on his own. He's not even sleeping all the way through the night on his own. He is using a sippy cup during the day, but he still wants that bottle at night. Again, I think that probably has to do with that sleep regression and separation anxiety. He's up like every 2 hours at nights, hence the reason for the exhaustion. He struggles with table foods. He's an extremely picky eater, so he's definitely not using utensils. He wants to use his fingers, and if it's something that's squishy or just new in general, he just completely turns his nose up at it and makes a disgusted face and throws it on the floor, and he doesn't want anything to do with it. So on top of that, you have social media where there are these moms sharing videos of their 6-month-olds eating chicken off the bone and walking before they even look big enough to crawl, and reading, before they're 2, and just doing these crazy things at such a young age. And that on top of the pediatrician basically making me feel like, well, he should already be here and doing those things. I'm like, man, is my son behind, or are these other kids like really, really advanced? And so, it was kind of, for a moment, started to kind of ruin my joy a little bit for all the things that he was doing, because now I'm thinking about all these things that he needs to work on, and man, I gotta push him right to hit these specific goals by a specific date, and just kind of crazy. And I had seen online some other moms who are kind of dealing with the same thing that I am, still kind of rocking their big babies to sleep and giving them bottles or whatever it is. And man, there's these other moms on there that are just bashing them, like, you're spoiling that baby, and it's a baby, you know what I mean? Like, they're not 4. I mean, and not to, no offense to anyone who's giving a bottle to their 4-year-old or so, rocking them to sleep, but listen, it's a baby, you know what I mean? I don't know, I'm having a hard time accepting that having your child fall asleep in your arms is a bad thing. Like the moms that are posting about themselves, like rocking their kids to sleep and just enjoying their children and being in the moment with them and loving on them, and to see how many people are responding negatively about this. It's like, there are so many things that parents could be doing wrong with their children. Are we really making people feel bad for like loving on their kids too much? It's crazy. But it just got me thinking about the expectations that the world puts on us, and our children. And I mean, it starts from when they're infants. There are certain expectations that, you know, this is just what you do by this age and how you do it. And if you're not there, then you're behind. And so it kind of develops this pattern. And I feel like as parents, we really have to monitor how much we're emphasizing what our children are not doing. There has to be more of us talking about and reinforcing those positive things, you know, milestones they've already hit, successes they've already had, you know, things that they're already doing well. Because yes, we want to work on those things that they need to get better at, but if that's all we focus on, man, it's overwhelming. Do you know what I mean? It's just, and then we put that pressure on them, and the world puts that pressure on them, and then that's all that they can focus on. And so all of the positive things that they've got going on just kind of get drowned out. And I speak from experience as a child who went through that. At a young age, there were a lot of things that I felt like I did well and I was proud of myself for, things that I enjoyed, and those things ended up getting drowned out, and the emphasis was put on all of the things that I did wrong. So often, it just was drilled into me how bad I was at like these couple things. And so all these other big things never got celebrated. And I grew up like that. And as an adult, that's what I do. So I tend to drown out all of the positive things and focus on just the things that I need to work on. And so when we make these things that we need to work on so huge, it really takes a toll on your mental health. I don't remember going through this with my oldest, and I think that's because we didn't have social media. He was born in 2002, so, you know, there was no Facebook or MySpace even, and we barely had Google, you know, so I lived in the moment with him and went at his pace, and that worked for us. It's like everywhere you look, you know, there's videos and ads and pop-ups and articles and things that you should be doing with your children, and there's just like information overload. Seriously. And sometimes I have to stop and kind of go back to that simpler time without social media. Do you know what I mean? But man, it makes me think too, about the kids that are born in this generation, because this is all that they know. They don't know how to go back to a simpler time with no social media because they were born into social media. So as parents, we have to really protect them, not even saying just protect them from social media, because yes, we have to do that, but protect them in the household, because when they go out into the world, they're going to get enough of that. They're going to get enough of their weaknesses being thrown in their face. We have to nurture and support their strengths so that way those outweigh their weaknesses. We have to make a clear understanding with our children that yes, they need to continue to work on certain things, but don't become so consumed that it takes away your joy from just life and from all of the things that are positive. It's just a few little negative things can really trump out all of the big positive things. And so we just have to be really careful as parents that we don't allow our children to continue to think like that. I know I really messed up with my oldest when he was younger because, like in grade school, you know, he had a lot of behavioral issues. And so, you know, schools don't call when they do something right. Schools call when they do something wrong. So I get a phone call, you know, and of course, you know, my son may have done a lot of great things that day or week or month or whatever, but that one phone call always made it seem like the issue that he had that day was just like the biggest problem in the world, and it kind of trumped out everything else that he was doing. And to try to address that one issue, that's what it became, because the school put the pressure on me to address this one issue. So I'm putting the pressure on him to address this one issue and spending so much time trying to do it, when the way that it should have been handled was to put more emphasis on the things that he was doing right and make it more of a redirection instead of just, head on with the problem that we were dealing with. And I've gotten better over time at learning how to play to his strengths. But again, speaking from experience, it already took a toll. It already had an impact on his life, just the same as it did with me when I was growing up. So make sure that you're celebrating your children. Make sure that you're celebrating their milestones. If they are, sharing something with you that they're excited about, get excited with them. Even if it doesn't seem like it's a lot, get excited with them. Not just our children, but that transfers into us as adults. There are so many things out there that are thrown in our face and cause us to kind of compare our lives to somebody else's lives, and our children are watching us, so we have to make sure that we're not doing that ourselves. You are on your own timeline. Do things your way. There's so many people feeling like they're not enough because they're comparing themselves to other people's lives. Everyone is on a different path. This is your personal journey. You are raising your children to have their own path and their own journey. There are going to be things that they're just going to do in their own time, and that has to be okay. Don't let falling into comparisons ruin your joy. So I think I've rambled enough for today. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, but I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Tuesday.